In our office in Gaza, we have about 12 cars for the clinics, for the vocational training center. And so one car has only one piece in the gear. And it stands still until now. For 3 years now, we could not find a spare part for it. And this applies to not only cars, to factories, the hospitals. They need equipment, apparatuses. We are deprived from this. In addition, the more important thing, the environment, and we have the sewage, which now is pouring into the sea and into the underground water, which becomes now undrinkable. It is contaminated the sea, the fish. Because this is happening because we have no spare parts. Pumps broke, then you cannot replace, you cannot work. Electricity, they shelled the first few days of the siege, they shelled the power station in Gaza. And we depended on power which comes from Israel, part of it, and from Egypt. And now I was told by my family in Gaza this week that even fuel for these generators is not available, and which makes it much more difficult. They are having only 6 hours electricity power, and the rest without power. And you could imagine how difficult it is to live with this situation, and especially at the hospitals, the clinics. In our clinics, before I came here, electricity used to be cut 12 hours every day. Unfortunately, most of these hours were during the working hours, and you have to use a small generator at each clinic, which is insufficient to give power to operate all the lab equipment and the computers and this and that, and we have to cut here and there. That is again a burden, and it increases the suffering of the people whom we are trying to alleviate. The infrastructure, the roads destroyed. We have no cement, we have no asphalt. The airport, which was one of the good developments which happened to be during the first few years after Oslo, it was completely damaged. But what happened that people have recycled the asphalt of the runway in order to repair the streets inside the cities. They have taken all the debris from all the houses which have been demolished. They have taken them, recycled, they crushed them. They have invented machines locally, not imported, crush it in order to reuse it in blocks to build places. But mind you, we were warned that these blocks are contaminated. When I say contaminated, they are uranium enriched, they say. And there is a great danger from reusing them in housing and so on. And lately we had been noticing that many children who were born, they had deformities. And not sick, deformities. They are incomplete children. We are not allowed to get out of Gaza, and we cannot reach the West Bank. I hate to keep reiterating the story of my daughter. My daughter is living in West Bank, married, she has 3 children. She holds the ID of Gaza. She has not been into Gaza for 12 years. And this applies to many families. Why? I don't think she is a terrorist. I'm sure she is not a terrorist. She has 3 children, and she cannot leave them behind, because if she decides to come to Gaza, then she cannot return to West Bank. And moreover, there is a new law issued by the Governor General of the West Bank and Gaza. He is called the coordinator, that anybody who holds, this was issued sometime in October, but it was implemented after 6 months. Anybody who holds ID card from Gaza is liable to be deported to Gaza, to the big prison of Gaza. Now this applies also to my daughter. as one of those 25,000 people who live in West Bank, and if they are caught, they will be deported to Gaza. I don't think there is any harm, but it's a kind of oppression, humiliation of Palestinians. Now to come to the point of the Palestinians to come together is a very important point. This division is really causing problems for all of us, and they must keep aside all the differences between the political platforms and have one objective, both, whether Hamas or Fatah or PFLP or others, to see that we need to realize our self-determination, and then when we have our independent state, they each can decide on the platform they want to follow, and it will be left to the electorate to decide who will be elected. But while we hope for this, there are external powers preventing this. We don't have enough school buildings. Most of the schools are being used for 2 shifts. And sometimes they have to go to the 3rd shift, organize a 3rd shift. And you could imagine a child of 7 years or 8 years or 9 years, he goes 7 o'clock in the morning, the 1st shift, until 11. Second shift after half an hour, 11:30 until about 2:30. The 3rd shift from 3 to 5:30. It could be evening by that time. A child goes to school in the evening and returns. This is again one of the conditions which the children. Secondly, they don't have any extracurricular subjects. I mean, they see in the TV that there are lessons for music, for sports, for recreation, for this and that. This is not available because shortage of schools, shortage of playgrounds, shortage of teachers, shortage of funds, which makes it very difficult. And this situation could be reversed from occupation to independence, from captivity to freedom, from oppression to joy. This is part of the human sense. Everybody, every one of you and of us has it. And I think it is the duty of everybody to do it.